Welcome back to another episode of Race Trade Mondays. As you can see, I'm joined by Ryan Marich and my dear friend, Vern. Verns is back. I'm going to cut straight to you, Verns, because we've had so many questions about where on earth you've been. Mate, we missed you. Everyone's missed you. How are you, first and foremost?
Yeah, look, I'm good. I'm glad to be back. Just life things happening at the moment, but jumped on and did my YouTube updates like late Thursday night or Friday Arvo sort of thing. So was late on getting all that out sort of thing. But look, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to have the discussion. So yeah, let's do this.
Mate, from the bottom of my heart, I know I missed you. I know about Joshy. He's an angry individual. Should have seen the messages I was receiving. When was it? When Horn Francis got subbed out. My God. That was just brutal. Joshua, how are you, my dear friend?
I'm good. I'm very, very happy we've got Verns back.
Yes.
I don't have to just sit here with you, which is sometimes very painful, but also very good because the buys are done and those blue dots are gone. Finally get the full teams back. Finally, as an AFL viewer, get a full allotment of games back. And yeah, 5 weeks of buys, it's such a joke. Next year, I hope they just go to having a week off and then done with it. It's a disaster. But anyway, it's over and yeah, keen to get into the real stuff now.
I think you actually said something quite intelligent. We don't do that often around here, Burns. I know you haven't been around for a while, but quality of us has dropped. And, we accept constructive feedback, some criticism here and there. But Joshy's bang on. This 5 weeks of buys is just absolute crap. And I know a certain media person that's right behind me, for those playing along at home can see, Sammy McClure is a huge advocate of just having a week off. That's it. Like, just get rid of footy for a weekend, and then that's it. That's your buy. No worries. Done. What's your thoughts on that, Joshy? I know you said that you're down for it, but, is that something that you would advocate for? Because I reckon you watch more football than anyone I know.
Definitely. 100% I would much rather that. It's just 5 weeks of just... It feels like a lull in the season. It's across the whole footy landscape. If your team's missing that week, a lot of people only watch footy for their teams, which is fair enough, but it just makes those weeks so much less. And even this week, it pisses me off. It's first week out of the buys. We've got 2 Friday night games, and granted, one of them is West Coast Giants, so not many people are wanting to watch that. But the footy nuffies, SuperCoach lovers like us, we probably would watch that game. But yeah, this weekend alone, you've got 2 games on the Friday night, and you've got 2 games at the exact same time on the Saturday. But you've only got 2 games on the Sunday. Have 3 games on the Sunday, like you have most rounds this year, and just space it out a little bit. It makes no sense. If I was running the AFL, I would have thought that you'd try and space out games to make sure that people are watching each game and the viewership's up for each game, rather than putting GWS and West Coast up against Collingwood and Carlton. You're going to have no one watching that GWS West Coast game when you could have put it on a graveyard Sunday 4:40.
Oh, absolutely agree. And I'm fairly sure, I haven't looked at the fixture that deeply, but I assume that's an 8-10 start, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. So it probably starts around half time or just near on there, but then you're getting a fair bit of a clash during the games.
I mean, positives there. After Pies are done pumping Carlton, you have something else to go watch. So,
well, I was going to say, Bernsey, you're a very intelligent man because we're on the same wavelength here, mate. Because I was thinking, if Pies are up by 10 goals at quarter time, that would be fantastic. You'd have half your viewership switch over, wouldn't you? Because it'd just all be Carlton supporters.
Oh, you're probably close to game over there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is their grand final this week. They win this, and it's like the entire season didn't happen. But just quietly, it was absolutely fantastic to see Port annihilate them. I'm sure you are up and about, Joshy. I know you're a closet Pies man. That's it, yes.
No closet Pies man, but I'm just so happy to see how Carlton's going at the moment. It's certainly going worse, but we're injured as anything. But just as I've said multiple times on this pod, got so many Carlton mates, and it's painful when they're up and about. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Just
No,
quickly, if I could jump
yeah,
to it.
absolutely.
Just on that bye talk as well, like as you mentioned, with just the 1 week off, like just the fairness of it as well. Like, no offense to teams that have a late bye, but would nothing be worse than having a late bye? You come into a team that's fresh off a bye before your bye, sort of thing. You know, a team off round 12, you're playing them round 14. They've got fresh legs. You guys need the break. It's just fairness. Give everyone the same week off, the same bye. Nobody's got an advantage the next week. Like, I don't know. That just makes sense to me. Like.
It does. It does. But when has the AFL ever like gone logical and just with sound reasoning?
Oh,
Never.
No, never.
Yeah.
No. Burns, you haven't been here for an eternity. Tell me how your SuperCoach team's going.
Oh, mate. I think I said it pre-pod, but look, I feel like I missed most of the bipods, so I can probably just sum up the whole buys. I started at like 7K and I finished off at 20K. And all of that, honestly, was last week. Dropped to 1600. It was like 1630 or something. It was really, really bad. And that single-handedly put me from like 9K to 23K. Like, it just blew me out so bad. Look, I've got a few pods that obviously didn't fire. I also captained Whitfield last week, which, that was great.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And I was fielding 18. I was fielding 19, so my captain dropped out, so I didn't even have a captain technically on field that week. And I passed on Jordan Clark's 119, which is frustrating. And it's one of those mental things where if it said 120, you just know you wouldn't have passed it, but you see the 1-1 and you pass it and you sit there and you just. But I've made a vow to myself, I'm never captaining GWS players again. I captained Tom Green last year for the 8. And I've captained Whitfield this year for the 16, so pretty done with them.
I know a certain someone that was, pleasantly happy and pleased that Whitfield wasn't returning. May or may not be to my right currently.
I mean, I'll own up to it. I mean, you're kidding yourself if you're a non-Whitfield owner and you're not happy about it.
Absolutely agree.
Because he's got West Coast this weekend, and in round 4 this year, he played West Coast, scored 148 or something ridiculous. And to be honest, it probably would have been very, very similar score this week if he suited up. So, yeah, I'll admit it. I'm quietly happy that he's not playing this week.
Well, I'm not like you. I don't criticise performances, and I never like to see a player that I don't own not score well. That's just not me and not my.
Shall I read your response? Or
yeah, no, we're gonna move on. So, Burns, where are you ranked, mate?
Yeah, 20K. So not good. Dropped to 1948 this week though, so that was a little bit better. Went up 3K, so that did feel a bit better. I'm not a Bont owner, and I was honestly someone that never planned on getting Bont, but now he's gotten so cheap that somehow I've managed to be able to afford him. So positives there.
Very nice, very nice. And Joshy, just purely because no one gives a flying rat's ass about where I'm ranked. 4.7K. Where are you, mate? Where are you? Because you're actually doing quite well.
No one cares about mine either. But I'm 2,284. Dropped a bit the last 2 bye rounds, but I think there's 8 rounds left. Hopefully, I can get a top 1,000 finish. And I'm top 1% ranked. I reckon I'd be on the absolute borderline of that at 2,284. But hopefully go up from here on.
Yep. How are you looking in all your cash leagues? Gamble responsibly, of course.
Oh, I'm very happy with the cash leagues actually. I think I'm first, third, and 8th in the other one, but percentage is well above 9th and 10th, and I'm a game clear of 9th. So hopefully finals in all 4 of my cash leagues, but not going as well as your gambling in the sports bet realm.
Oh yes, we had a few cheeky winners actually, but it's not a gambling podcast. Although if Joshy does win money from his cashies, he has already elected that he's going to split it 3 ways because of the awesome advice that Verns and I give him. Do we really need to go through trade targets? Honestly, if you've got trades left right now, what's the threshold that you're not trading at?
Oh, I mean, depends on, I guess, where your team's at, sort of thing. And if you have a few premiums you're not happy with, Joshy sort of mentioned it before. There was, he's happy with his premiums and he feels like he's in a good spot. But I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that aren't happy with a few of their premiums and they would love to get them up. Goulden came back and he looked really good. Obviously, you've had Bont a bit cheaper now. George Hewitt's a bit cheaper now. So there's some really good targets that aren't that much more expensive. I know me personally, I've got 5 trades, but I'm burning 2 of them this week to get Saligo up to Bont.
I like it. Joshy, how many have you got left and how closely are you holding those to your heart?
Yeah, I agree with Burns. I think 5 trades is where you can trade. I mean, last week I had 5 trades and I used 2 to get Roberts up to Noah Anderson, which I think already it's like a 40-point gain, which did get a bit lucky. He was on 61, I think, at 3/4 time, ended up on 105, junked it up in the last quarter a little bit, but was copying that tag from Langdon early. So hopefully Essendon this week, Collingwood the next week, he's starting to get going now. But yeah, I think you've got 5 trades. That's probably the minimum you need to have to be able to make these luxury upgrades. I've got 3, and although I do have like a Chera and a Rankin, I'm not going to be touching those 3 trades until the last 2 rounds if I've got any left after some carnage that's sure to come.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that Isaac Rankin, because I know you were so happy with his performance post halftime.
He just did his typical 60-plus point first half and then goes missing in the second half. And 60 at half time, finishing on 99 against Richmond, I was not happy. And geez, his role just doesn't look good since Barry's come in. Like, yes, he's still getting the roughly same amount of CBAs he was getting before Barry came in, but once he's out of that CBA, he's gone straight forward and really lacking in the stoppage numbers since, to the eye. I might be completely wrong, but since Barry's come in, that role just looks really bad.
No, I completely agree. Is it fair to say that players that I guess we thought were doing quite well and then had role changes, they're the ones that you should be using your trades for? So, like, you've got a Matty Roberts who's now literally playing on the wing, who's, in my opinion, that's not a fieldable option right now. Like, I know that's hard, but don't really think at this end of the year you're going to be comfortable coming up with Matty Roberts as a unique in your teams.
Yeah, and last week I traded him off a 95, which, like, that's not the worst score, but the alarm bells were ringing. Like, that roll looked really bad. I think he had like 12 touches 3/4 time and got really kissed on that 95 score. And then, he's dropped to 60 this week. Burns can speak more on Saligo, but I think he's another one that got a little bit affected by Barry. So, I mean, his role probably isn't that great, or I'm not sure.
Burns
Saligo still has. No. I brought Saligo in like round 4. Bro, Saligo is such a frustrating watch. I'm probably the only person that owns him and the only person that cares, but he still has really good numbers. He still has these 60+% CBA. Sometimes he has a 70-80%, on the odd weeks here and there. So he still has really good numbers. He just doesn't get his hands on it. I don't know. I personally feel like Adelaide burned him a fair bit. There was also one tackle where he got his absolute head ripped off. And I'm still like, nah, bro, you're fine. I think Saligo's also good.
You're almost looking for excuses to trade out those underperforming, I guess. I'm not going to say premiums, but fieldable options. Is that fair?
I think you mentioned it well before. It's all about sort of that role change at the end of the day. Like, if they've still got the same role and they're having a bit of a lull patch, like, we know their potential, we know how good they are, they can get back to it, sort of thing, and you just back them into, be the player they can be. As you mentioned, if they've had that role change and even if they're playing their best footy, that it's limiting their SuperCoach cap, then they're the guys you need to worry about, sort of thing. So I think you mentioned that before. That's the biggest thing to look at.
Yeah, absolutely. Joshy, do you have anything more to add on the role changes or certain players that you're not in favour of anymore?
No, I think it's been pretty much covered. Everyone knows who those fake primos are at the moment. I mean, it's definitely a big thing, this role changes. Especially teams like those Sydney who are getting in those players back from injury. That's when it happens, and it happens at the back end, like we're seeing. But yeah, pretty much covered it all.
Yeah, perfect. I'm not going to go through trading targets as we've already said. So we're just going to go straight to BCs and Cs. Josh, I think you literally do your VCs and Cs like 5 weeks in advance because as soon as lockout's done, you're just on it. Who have you got this week, mate?
Not 5 or 6 weeks in advance, but I do look straight at the fixture as soon as the round's done. There's actually a few options this week. Like I like Bont against North, obviously 260s in his last 3 games, which is just unheard of for the Bond. But yeah, he's I don't mind him against North. I'd like Tom Green against West Coast this week. I also like Sherry against English. I mean, Grundy just dropped 179 on English, and absolutely bullied him in the ruck contest, which I think Sherry can do as well. And then Smith against Richmond as well. So at the moment, I've got the VC on Sherry into Baslenka against Richmond at home. But yeah, I think there's a lot of options that you could go for this week.
Burns, what about you, mate? Everyone here that's been around a while knows that you love something left field. So I hope to God you're not going to let me down here, mate.
Look, right now, I think Joshy's covered it really well. If you want to be going something left field, I'm sure a lot of people brought in Sam Darcy. Going into North, can he kick a bag? If you want to take a cheeky VC punt on a massive game from him, I think that would be something fun to do. And I think Smith is such an easy roll on to, you think 130 minimum, very safe fullback. So feel very confident to, if you want to go wacky early, Jesse Hogan into, West Coast, then go for it,
My goodness, I apologise for the background noise. As you can all hear, they're going mental. And now we've got complete silence. Tuesday, good, aren't we? And I'm about to get hit by a broom. All right, let me paint a picture for you lot. All right, Friday evening. It's about 8:30 at night. Okay, it's cold. It's freezing. 2 arch rivals are against each other. One team is down by 93 points early in the third quarter, and one superstar, one generational player has already had 45 and 2. Who am I referring to?
I don't know if Darcy Cameron gets that many touches, but, he could.
He could. It might not be a ruckman, though. Maybe someone a little bit shorter. Joshy, you got any ideas, mate?
Bobby Hill.
Yes. Well, hopefully he's back, but no. Don't think he gets up the ground that much.
Yeah, maybe the seagulling a bit in the back. Probably Josh, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did think about this man that you're referring to as a VCLC, but I'm just a little bit worried about Chin Cotter. I don't think you are, but
fair.
Chin Cotter's done a decent job this season. So, I'm avoiding him, but, you've got the Collingwood bias, so I'm sure that you're going to be putting either the VC or C on him.
Honestly, right now, my team is set up Bond into Smith.
Oh, same.
Okay.
I will happily forego a day cost 160 just to see them lose again. I don't know about yous, and I'm not into my poetry or anything, but tuning into that Port game, Port Carlton last week, if you could visualise poetry, it was all the mistakes that Carlton made, and it was how good was it that they got absolutely slaughtered once again. There was a training day today and they had half-price coffees, and I think the tweet was there was 12 people there. I don't know if it was literally taking the mickey, but it wouldn't surprise me if there was. Genuinely, it's so sad, but it's beautiful. And I, for one, cannot get enough of it. Genuinely can't. But while we're on there, is there any chance that if you own a Dacos, you don't VC him? I know, Josh, you're against it. Verns, you're against it. Yeah. I'm just trying to think right now, obviously, post-buys, we're all trying to maximise that VC. Josh, you say all the time, you put it on the most explosive player or the one you think that's going to score the most. Looking at my team, the reason why I'm not VC on him is Bont could go absolutely ballistic against North. The form's not there, but I mean, Jerry could monster English, as he said. I mean, there's some fairly good VC options this week.
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing with Dacos. There's so many good options that you don't need
Yeah.
to go for something like Dacos. You know, if there wasn't other good options and you had the Bailey Smith in like the last game of the round, then sure, you know, roll the dice with maybe Dacos doesn't get tagged. But there's some
Yeah.
great options. So
What about if we make it a little bit harder? Say you've done your VC and it's absolutely stunk to bed. I want you to choose out of the night games of Saturday and the entirety of Sunday. Who's your captain? You can only pick one. Like, who would you
Bailey
feel
Smith.
comfortable seeing? Yep, it's just Smith. That's it.
oh, okay. I thought you were
Yeah.
excluding that game because you said night
I
games.
am
I thought you were
excluding
going
that
the.
game. Someone hasn't looked at the fixture correctly because that's what's that? Late
Wait.
Arvo
Yeah, I was
game.
thinking Brisbane onwards. If you
Oh,
were saying
Yep.
that, like
Yep. Make it a
hypothetically,
little bit
Brisbane
more
onwards,
difficult.
I would probably say Brody Grundy with his form. I mean, look, that man,
Yeah.
whoo, he has been
Yeah,
insane.
he has been insane. Now, Joshy's just realised that his first suggestion doesn't count. Where are you going, mate? And don't give me Bailey Smith. That's such a generic answer.
I mean, I wouldn't go Brayshaw. I'd just be a little bit worried he cops Jordan. I think Sarong still cops Jordan, but even Dawson, you wouldn't go there because of Langdon. I mean, I'd probably go, honestly, with a Rosie against Brisbane, maybe, from
Yeah.
my team.
Mm-hmm.
If I had him, I'd go Butters, though.
You know what I'm not looking forward to?
What's that?
Your tweets about literally Dane Zorko being on 2 at quarter time and you telling everyone that he's done and he still tons up anyway. Like, oh,
I can't stand him. Like,
and I know you can't. I know you
last
can't.
game, he scored 105, but 250s against, turning over like uncontested kick-ins, and he left a 150 out there. And I know the
know.
105 looks okay on paper, but he's so infuriating to watch. Like it's doing my head in.
Why don't you just trade him?
Because we've got 3 trades and I'm holding them onto dear life after last season. The amount of
And also,
PTSD I have from last year at the end of this season, ridiculous.
Yeah.
and
No,
at his
I
price point,
agree.
it's not worth it. He's not like he's
Yeah,
sitting
you
at like
can't do anything.
580 or 600 or something like that, where
That's true.
you can do something with it. It's probably the best buy for his price outside of Whitfield.
I don't know what I'm more like. What's the word? Less interested to see the Zorko score or the Lockie near like classic 70 to 85. Like I'm just, it makes me think like if I brought Neil in, I'd be fuming, absolutely fuming. Like, I started the pansy. He's still there, and he's literally crap, genuinely crap. But it's just like, if you've got trades left, now is the time to start making some, like, Verns, this is right up your alley, some funky moves and getting these highly owned players out that are just so, like, performing so badly.
Oh yeah, I would love to get like a cheeky Goulden or something this week. Sydney actually still have a
Yeah.
really good run
Yeah.
as well, but as a
Absolutely.
non-boned honor, I don't know if I can like probably mentally deal looking at a Bont in a head-to-head. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know,
that's
with the
true.
way my season is, I'm focusing a bit more on cash leagues too, and yeah, I think probably mitigating that unique is more important.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I mean, we knew tonight was going to be a very short podcast in comparison to what we have been doing. Is there anything that we need to cover at all? Like anything at all?
I'll ask you guys a question real quickly.
Yes.
So you guys mentioned it before. Is Whitfield actually out this week? I haven't looked into it at all.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's out.
He is?
Yep.
Ah, sad. I like Josh. I only got
So
22 premiums, so
will you be trading him or no?
nah. I just got to stick fat with him. Like,
Yep.
can't afford to trade 1 weekers, and this is why you want 23 premiums so that you can, dodge the 1 weekers. But such is my season.
Oh, I feel you, mate. I feel you. Like the way my team's set up, as we spoke about last week, Joshy, I feel like the flexibility of my team's a little bit better, but the on-field options for you is much better. Like I'm looping Mills and McKercher in the back line, Ned Long and Chad Warner at M8, and McCarthy's in flex just because I believe that role is like it's elite. absolutely elite. They look for him every way they can. And what I noticed against the Pies, like they just purely, I don't know if it was matchup related, but all they wanted to do, cheap little kick from the kick in, take a mark, and then go straight down the middle. I don't know if that game plan is going to continue, but if it is, I'm more than comfortable having McCarthy
Hey,
on.
they were really competitive with the Pies.
Yeah, they were not bad at all.
Yeah, and just like the offensive transition, as you mentioned, going down the middle, take the game on, actually give yourself a chance to score, sort of thing. Like they looked good at times, get it over the back, especially against us. The Pies were a very offensive team, so we do leave that open for if teams do get over our back. So yeah, they definitely made us work for it on the weekend.
And I know, Joshy, you've been the largest advocate of having McCarthy on field as that, in quotation marks, extra premium. It's not, obviously, price point isn't premium, but scoring-wise.
Yeah, well, we had the debate a couple of weeks ago, is 22 premiums a finished team? And I was on the side of yes, especially if McCarthy is at 23rd. But, like, you look at it, like, McCarthy in his role, I would rather him over Bolton. I'd rather him over Warner. I'd rather him over McKercher, Mills. Like some of these primos are playing. Yeah, he's got like that DPP as well. Like, I mean, looking at my team, I'd rather field him over a Chera, to be honest, at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like Chera only had his first sub 80 score on the weekend, but I mean, like McCarthy's role is just unreal. And like you're right, if he's not taking the kick-ins, pretty good chance to get that kick in receive. And if he is taking the kick in, it's pretty good chance to get the handball receive off the person he's kicked it into. And not even just that, like he can actually defend. And he was taking some pretty solid intercept marks too. There's a couple of like really strong contested ones that he took. So yeah, he's just a good player. And I said it last week, he's 24 years old. So he's that mature age. He's not like your most mid-season draft picks where the pick ones. Like, I think Cully was 19. I think Marich when he was taken was 19. Geordie Payne last year was 19. He's actually this first ready-made pick one in the mid-season draft, and he's really showing it.
Verns, I am going to assume that you own him, yes?
Yeah. Very much needed that 101 on field this week.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess this is SuperCoach related, but if he scores a 107, he actually breaks Bilden's price rise record, which is just like it's insane. It's pure gift. It's absolutely immense, like just so good.
Are we putting our predictions down? Is he making it over his unders?
Who do they have? They've got.
They have GWS.
If GWS kick more than 10 behinds, I reckon he is a lock for 110.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, that's the scary thing with GWS. Sometimes they do go ahead and flog these like lower tier teams, but that's not a bad thing if the ball's living down there. If they're kicking 20 throw behinds or something, then that sounds amazing for us. So I think there's a genuine good chance. I'm going to say overs. I'm going to say he makes it this week.
Yep. Joshy, what about you, mate?
Yeah, I think he can get it. I mean, against Giants in that game that Whitfield scored 148 or something ridiculous earlier this season, Marich scored 88. I think McCarthy's like a much better player than Marich just purely because he can take those stronger intercept marks, he can defend, and can find the contested pill a little bit more as well. So
you just love laying the boots into your doppelganger.
Well, I mean, I'm not wrong though. I'm not wrong. Like McCarthy's shown so much more than Marich, who literally lost his role to Tyrell Drawer. So like, I mean, that's just enough right there. But I know you do. But yeah, I reckon he can get it against JS and back at home as well. Always helps.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to get to some questions now. I don't know how many we've got. But this, I think, it's going to cover your beautiful face, Vern. So I apologise in advance.
That's okay.
Oh, no, it doesn't. That's wonderful. Hawksy's always here. Absolute MVP. Goated legend. He says, fellas, buys are done and so am I. Well, I think the only one here that is still hugely invested is you, Joshy.
What do you mean?
Well, because you're actually doing all right, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, I think that's why you've always got to join cash leagues because
Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
not to
if you're
play
not
for.
if you're not going to make top 10 rank, like really, what's the point of caring about your rank? Like I could
That's-
probably get into the top 1K, but I honestly don't care. All I care about is my cash leagues right now because I'm not going to come top 10. So at the end
Yeah.
of the day, if you're not top 10, it's literally just a number. Like you could finish 101. It doesn't really matter
That's
to me.
very true. Hawksy also says, Burns, he reckons you've been lost in the mines, mate. You've just had a few things going on, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I mean maybe he's saying it because of the beard. I usually don't let my facial hair grow out very much, but sometimes I think it represents life pretty well. You just things are happening, and who could be bothered with the face?
Love it, mate. Love it. Aqua says, evening, fellas. Vern's finally back. I thought Scobes would put you in the doghouse for the pods on the solo stream a few weeks back. I mean, there's a lot of stigma around that, but to be fair, you shouted out Jack Steele, and at the time, he was doing fairly well.
Yeah, look, I brought in Jack Steele, so his like
Oh.
50 he got last week was a big reason I scored 1600.
Yep.
There was, as I said, a lot of bad pods. I also shouted out Toby Green, who proceeded to get injured on the what did he get? He got like a 16 or something himself, and that really hurt. And then this week he came back with a 101, and I don't think it was the wrong thought process, but you can't predict injuries at the end of the day, so it just happens.
No, you
Unlucky.
He also says Aqua's round rank was 57 this week, 2182. He's on top of the world, up to 21k, but he doesn't know what to do this week. I guess unless you've got any pressing issues, you're just holding, aren't you?
100%.
Yep. Hawksy says, whatever you do, just remember Carlton lost to North and Richmond this year. And how good is it? How good is it? Like, it's just, we live in such a beautiful world. Cheese. It's about time that Cheese actually got in the stream. About time. He says JG got kissed.
I was talking
Confirm
about
or deny,
Whitfield.
Joshy?
It was talking about Whitfield being out again. So I'm going to take it. I don't care. I'm so happy he's out.
Hawksy says there's a first time for everything, which I quite like. That's very good by him.
That's
very
good.
witty. Dalek says, evening, guys. Had the weekend from hell, got pretty crook. Cheese, potential hurt. Nah, he's going to be fine. Bont and Darcy underperformed, and I traded in Brayshaw for an 84. That's stiff.
Yeah.
Very stiff. Hopefully you're feeling better soon, mate. Jerbs. Jerbs is your number one fan, Burns.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I was just going to say just thanks to everyone for all the welcome backs. Yeah, I definitely haven't been in a few weeks, and yeah, I'm glad you all missed me.
Absolutely. He also says, hope you're all well, lads. And also, he said, last week I said I wouldn't be a peanut and trade Roberts to Darcy. This week I will be a peanut and trade Roberts to Darcy. It means I rely on McCarthy and Mills more, but bugger it, we ball Gerb life. I like it. Maddie says, hey, champs, one forward primo. Jeez, we got champed already. It must be going too good. One forward primo remains, 7 trades left. Butler currently F6, forward bench is dead. DM us your team, we'll sort you out, mate. We'll do our best. Like, we'll genuinely try. Aqua says that he's convinced himself to trade out Sheasel and Roberts. I need money to trade Real up to Gorn, and both have future roles. Sheasel may do well in North's wins, but they have a very tricky run home. See, I only condone the Roberts trade here.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you have held on to Sheeds, you probably just keep holding at this stage.
Yeah, I agree. Joshy,
I agree
that's your consensus?
Yeah.
Yep. Aqua says, I have 3 trade routes this week. Buy Whitfield and a flex worth under 500k. And field Jack Martin this week. Buy Zorko and a 500k player. Or buy Ash and Jez, not sure which. I would go Ash and Jez, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to agree with that. Yeah, I like that.
What's Joshy?
Yeah, I would too. There's really not much around that 500k mark at the moment.
No.
Which along with that good run home as well, so I'm happy to take a punt on Jez.
Yep. Cheese says if Scobes doesn't finish in the top 5K, he has to announce his retirement to continue making SuperCoach videos next year. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow, Jesus, we might be there because I'm 4.7K, mate. So if you start rocking up to the streams, I might do a little bit better. And also, this man is a menace on a night out. Literally sends videos of himself just doing the weirdest stuff ever. Like, genuine, just deviant.
He loves a vodka raspberry.
He does. He does love a vodka raspberry. And, I mean, could you not blame him? Look at that face. He's adorable.
And look how much he looks like Noah Anderson.
Well, to be honest, I was thinking the only reason you traded Noah Anderson in is because you've got quite, similar facial features, no?
Just another one to add to the list.
Yeah,
Pretty
we're
much
racking
anyone.
them up now. Racking them up. Nah. The South African wicketkeeper for the Test team, dead ringer for you. Dead ringer. Had a nice stumping last night as well, if anyone's checking that out. Aqua says, if I do get a 500k less player of these options, which is the best one? Darcy, JHF, Newcomb, Bergman, Eamon, Noble, Pickett. I'd honestly go Bergman or Darcy just because I'd like to watch them.
I'd go Bergman.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the Bergman shout. Yeah, but
nice.
if you're gonna go for one that's not them, like Noble would be the other one I think you consider.
Very nice. Hawksy, I'm probably going to have to go to 2 trades to be full primo, but I think I've got okay cover in all lines. My last primo I need is a forward anyway, and none of them are hurting me right now. Then wait. Honestly, just wait.
Now, I guess my question there when he says full primo, does he mean 22 or 23? Because at the end of the day, if you're 21 and your last trade's getting you the 22, it doesn't technically have to be a 6th premium. You can run 22 with 5 forwards. You don't need to technically fill out 6 forwards with 22 premiums.
Very true. Aqua says alternatively, if you get Tom Stewart at 505k, will 31k in the bank be enough to upgrade Real to Gorn? Feel like I may be cutting it fine. No clue. Haven't looked at numbers on that, mate. But if you want an actual rundown, send me what their break even
No,
and
definitely will
everything
not. Definitely.
Okay, Burns has confirmed it. Perfect. Hawksy says, feel like Flex is going to make injury trades a lot less likely to be needed. So, Joshy, your PTSD can just calm down a little bit, mate. Also says, Neil Erasmus, what a great man. Knocked Bont VC off the score. Yeah, he's been good. Playing for a large contract, that kid. And
I said it a couple of weeks ago. If he wasn't made that sub, everyone would have had him. And then he was made sub on that team drop Thursdays. We all reacted, had an hour to react. Didn't bring him in, and then the next week he's not sub, and he's been great ever since. I think he's made like over 150k, scoring well too. So that pissed me off.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
A lot of us got stuck with like a dead rookie from the word go. I know I still have Camporelli there from the start of the season. You would have loved someone like a Neil Erasmus to be the dead rookie at the start, and then they come back, sort of thing. It's what we were hoping with Campo all season. It just never happened. So super unfortunate.
He's the best for mid. Imagine saying that 6-7 weeks ago. Cheese says there better be bourbon in that Pepsi Max, Joshy. You guys can confirm or deny that. But
there's absolutely none, unfortunately. But I will be back on the beers on Team Drop Thursday. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Pro, he wants to know thoughts on Newcomb cheap M9. There's 2 things that have given me pure joy this season in SuperCoach. That's trading that pansy out, and genuinely, when I go to look up Carlton players' scores, seeing that they are just no hope of winning the game. So you can read that how you want, but yuck. No, thank you. No.
Yeah, that was not a legit question at all. He was just taking shots at you, Scobe.
No, I know, and we love Brad. It was his birthday the other day, and I hope he had a fantastic time.
Well, I want to know how that 119 from Newcomb on the weekend felt when you had Bont and Pally 60. Because isn't that who you traded Newcomb to?
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. How do you think it felt? I can't believe I do this multiple times a week with you. Cheese, thoughts on Bryce's D6, D7? Fired back at Pro there. Very cheeky from you two. And he wants to know, am I talking through my microwave? Yeah, fair call. Burns, I don't know if you knew, but we had some very difficult audio issues the other week, and it was disgusting.
Yeah, look, fellas, as much as I wasn't here, I did try and listen back to some of them. I say try to because sometimes Scobes was talking and I was like, brother, I can't do this.
I had no idea what was going on. Like, we got on a little bit earlier to test the audio. We were all good. And then it just, it was shocking. Absolutely shocking. These are just Pro and Cheese going at each other, which I actually don't mind. Like, good banter going on here. He also shouts out a Lockie Ash versus West Coast Easy 150.
Yeah, without Whitfield in the team.
Yep. Absolutely. Hawksy hates the Dylan Moore shout, even though he's looked good, but he's clearly carrying an injury because he was just subbed out. Pro is agreeing as well. Yeah.
Even if he's not carrying something, even if Hawks are choosing to manage him because of his age, then still not the player you want to be on. He's probably not going to get managed for the rest of the year, you'd think, but his form hasn't been great. So I don't know how I feel about that. Obviously, better CBAs in the back end of this year, and he has been better, but I don't know. More comfortable forwards for me personally.
Yep. Hawksy wants to know, can Chincotta tag Dacos? Joshy, you seem to think so. I think he can, but I don't know. Like, if we're rocking a VC, I think I'd feel more comfortable having the VC on Bont, knowing that he's got more chance to explode because he's not going to get attention. Is that fair to say?
I think Dacos has been tagged by Chincotta last year. I'm looking at round 21 last year. He scored a 101. I'm pretty sure that was with Chincotta on him. But then again, Dacos is going a lot better at handling the tag this season. Like that was a couple of weeks ago, it was a pretty tight tag from Windhager, and he still managed a very good score. And then earlier this season, in round 4 against Carlton, he scored 94. And I know Chincotta wasn't playing then. So, do any of you remember what actually happened to Dacos in round 4 when he scored 94 against Carlton?
Genuinely got no clue, mate. No clue.
Yeah, look, Carlton are a pretty restrictive mid as well. I mean, Hewitt's quite restrictive, so yeah. Either way, it's hard. Nothing's better than when someone tries to tag though, and they just do a really poor job, like Windhager did, where all you're doing is just giving him extra contested possessions all game.
Yeah. And then he just didn't tag next game at all. So, Ross Lyon just does whatever he wants. This is right up your alley, Josh. Pro picked up McCarthy in draft, which
so did
I wish I did that.
So did I. Very happy with it.
Burns, do you play that Pansy segment?
Yeah, I beat Joshy in our Keeper League draft, I think, last week.
I like that.
Look, not to burst your bubble, I haven't checked that since the preseason draft.
Dude, Joshy purely drafted his team for like the first year and then was like, I don't care after this.
And because I'm in 3 cash league drafts, because there's nothing on the line in that draft league, I just don't care, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I just find it's something to do in the meantime, like especially weeks like this where it's like, okay, well, my trades are pretty simple. Like as much as I can stare at it all I want, like it's not like there's nothing for me to do, So it's like that's when I'll jump over the draft and start playing with stuff there that I can actually, move around.
I have no idea why. Blue Ballers, the Arden Street Butcher, we can't say that B word, we're not allowed to. Kirch will go 105 plus. Ruse, I want him over Cheezels. I mean, go for it, mate. Go for it. Placey says, hey, boys, who's the best option under 502K? Shopping for a Roberts replacement can be any position. Thinking a Kennedy, great fight. Jesus Christ almighty. I have no idea.
McRae, hands down.
Yeah.
Like, easily McRae.
McRae.
So far McRae.
Yep.
I reckon.
Placey, there's your call. Done. Sammy Taylor, shout out to you, mate. Currently, you're injured, are you not? Josh, you confirmed tonight?
He is at the moment, unfortunately.
He's going Bolton and Baker as a bit of a pod. Give some thought, please. Now, this isn't Supercoach related, but everyone that knows me knows that I go for Collingwood. Who did Collingwood just play on the weekend? West Coast. I've never seen a player first reaction that literally ducks their head more than Liam Baker. And that, like, I'm talking, like, I literally watched Jack Ginnivan in my own team for years. Like, Liam Baker is the epitome of head ducker. You go back and watch all his possessions, every single time, first instinct, duck. Like, it's fair. It's fair. And we've lost Joshy. So, there you go. Oh, he's back.
Saying
He's
that
back.
Baker's been in some good form recently.
He has, yep.
So he's not a bad trade, and I don't mind it at all.
No, I don't mind it. I just think he's an absolute grub. Jake Wood says, hey, fellas, I got 3 trades. Do I go down to 2 trades? I'm ranked 1.1K. He's got 100K in the bank. Do I get Roberts out for like a Conning or McRae? He's got full primo and all the big names except Gorn. I would do Roberts to McRae in a heartbeat.
So would I.
Yep, absolutely. Fillet of fish. Hey, fellas, 6 trades. Sheasel and Johnson to Bont and Cameron. Leaves me 4 trades, 1 primo left, 60K in the bank. Thoughts? I actually don't mind that.
Yeah, I don't mind that either. As much as we said, like, as much as we said with Sheasel, like, you should have probably be holding him if you didn't trade him already. Bond's probably the one exception to that rule. If you do have this sort of value premium, making that very cheap adjustment to him, like that just seems so worth it.
Yeah. No, Josh, you got any objections to that?
No, I don't at all. But while we're talking about like value pickups, I was talking to Damo from SC Eds because he was thinking of getting Flanders in with that defender mid status as a 24th off the bench. I reckon if you're in that price range, I'm just going to throw this out there at 360K. I don't mind if you've got the trades to get a 24th and getting Brady Hoff because
Agreed.
last 2 weeks he's had 70 and 80 something percent CBAs, scores of 89 and 110, and he was awesome against Collingwood. And I really don't see them changing his role. Like I think even Tim Kelly was playing forward over him. So if you've got 360K and you've got enough trades to get that 24th guy, the mid defense DPP. Throwing it out there, I think Brady Hoff could be a very good, like, sneaky option for the run home.
Yeah, I did see your little tweet there with the 100% disposal efficiency as well.
Yeah, which is wild. 27 touches, 100% disposal efficiency.
And he's not just playing off the halfback, booming it like Luke Ryan used to. He was in the guts, like, making the hard, contested handballs. Like, super impressive.
Yeah.
Aqua says, this is back to the Erasmus chat. The lad has a higher projected than both Rankin and Warner this week. Well, I mean, he deserves it. Absolutely deserves it. Pro's just thanking us for the lovely comments before. And Aqua again wants to know, what do we think Jez actually averages for the rest of the season? I'm going to see averaging currently.
Yeah, that's what I'm jumping to as well. Having a quick look at him. Have a look at his fixture. I mean, Richmond this week. Super nice.
Oh, nice.
Richmond again. He has Richmond twice in the last, 9 games or whatever this is.
He's got Richmond twice. He's got St Kilda. He's got North Melbourne. He's got Essendon. He has Giants next week with Sam Taylor out. Like, Port Adelaide, Sydney, who've got just McCartan and Melican, like that's a very good run for a key forward.
Do we actually think he could go to 110?
Well, the problem is his floor. Like I think,
28 against Gold Coast.
Bad. Which
I reckon he's going to go 97, but there's going to be some variance in there, some very big variance.
That's what's bulking me up because I'm thinking if he goes 2 massive games against Richmond, like kicks a bag in both those games, gets 140 apiece, like that instantly just means even if the rest of his games are this 95 average with 2 140s, it's going to prop it up towards like that 107, 110 sort of average thing. So I think he's actually seems like we mentioned it before. I think he's actually a good buy, like especially at that price range if you want to take the punt.
Yeah, no, I agree. Thoughts on Matt Kennedy? I wish I owned Matt Kennedy. I wish I had bought him in instead of JHF. Like, he's been fantastic. And it makes it even better that Carlton let him go for peanuts, and he's been a superstar in that Dogs midfield. Like, so underrated. So underrated. He's been, wonderful. This next comment is a little bit weird because normally the person that posts things like this, it's just pure abuse or a little bit creepy. But Cheese has just said 5 likes, guys. What's going on? Run them things up for the boys. Still showing up to a stream in round 17. Absolutely, mate. It's the nicest thing you've ever said to all of us. Actually, I don't know. Cheese might like you, Burns, but he definitely hates me and Joshy. So very weird to see from him, but we'll condone it. I don't know what you're smoking, Aqua, but geez, it must be some heavy stuff. But Jack Martin, 120 this week. Lock it in. Joshy, Verns, tell me what Jack Martin's going to score.
70.
47.
70 and 47. I'll meet you in the middle and I'll go 62. Done. Easy. We've got 3 comments left. Jesus,
Well, this is expected.
Yeah.
Like, it's round 17. To be honest, I'm pretty happy with the viewership and comments we've had tonight because I think most people have sub 5 trades or 5 or less trades at the moment. So,
yeah. I mean, just filling it in. I mean, we've got to hit our quota so DR can pay us. That's how we've been supporting Burns on his time off. He's been taking annual leave and we've all been chipping in. So you two better win your cashies so you can, reimburse me.
One thing I will say is there's still a lot of intrigue about Team Drop Thursdays because live reactions in the teams, it's very, very important. So,
100%. 100%. Blue Ballers does not agree that Jez goes 110. No,
it's fair. It's probably me seeing the 2 Richmond games and just lighting my eyes up. North game as well and going, damn. But you're right. He's probably going to drop a 20 in there and that's going to absolutely tank.
Aqua says the good thing about Jez at F6, he's got some coverage in the forward line. Razzle Dazzle on the mid bench and Martin on the forward bench. He's got 24 primos. Think Ash and Jez now given no wit is like 50 points this week. I agree. Yes, 100%. Aqua also says Geordie Clark or Ash. Separate question. No, it's Ash for me.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Ash as well. His season's gone so underrated. And he gives you that bit of a pod. I don't think there's many teams that have too many pods out there. I'm seeing a lot of similar teams.
I really like Ash too. Let's go with that.
Aqua wants to know, Verns, what's your thoughts on your old favourite? Jack Steele's a pod this week. What's the go?
Yeah, look, he does have a good run home, which is cool for me as an owner, but outside of that, I think if you're going to bring in a St. Kilda player, you probably just bring in McRae over him, sort of thing. So, yeah.
I think we can all categorically say that Roberts is a trade, yes?
Yep.
And we're going to end on this one. Gentlemen, it's been amazing. Thank you both so much for joining me. And we wanted to just show a little bit more love to Verns because around here, you're an absolute superstar, mate. This is from Cheese. Verns, love for Dirty Pods. Bring a rush of blood down low. Can't hate the man. We are done. We are finished. We've covered everything we possibly can. Joshy, I'm sure you'll abuse me later in some form of cryptic text message. Verns, it was amazing to see your face again. And to the, I don't know what the statistics going on up here, but it says 342 because we're linked to Twitter. But
that's not right.
I don't think so.
Twitter's a cumulative. It's not live viewers, but I think on YouTube we had about 40, which is pretty good for this stage of the season.
Happily take that and run. We all hope the Pies smash Carlton, yes?
Yeah.
Oh, I love when you all agree with me. Verns, where can the listeners find you and where can they find your channel, my dear friend?
Yeah, so just follow me on X, Verns_SC, or just Verns SuperCoach on YouTube. Honestly, been kind of covering a little bit more Game Day Squad because there's just a little bit more to do in that format at this point in the year. So, yeah.
I started that at the start of the year. I have not checked it, but if anyone wants to send me, $5, $10, chuck on a multi for me, I'll happily give you all my cards for free. Joshy, where can the listeners find you, mate?
On X, JG232_, and with your good-looking self on Team Drop Thursdays this Thursday night.
6:20, you know where to find us. We'll always be there. Team Drop Thursdays. Kick off hopefully a decent weekend post buys. You can find me at Scobie__ on X. Don't forget to check out the website. Don't forget to check out the Third Man Up Boys captaincy spreadsheet. As I always say, look for the greens, look for the players you own, and just go from there. It's pretty simple. You can't muck it up. Unless your captain gets injured on 16. Isn't that right, Burns?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll end it off there, mate. Thank you once again, and thank you for everyone that's joined in. Joshy and I will be back Thursday evenings, and we'll be all back again next Monday. Same place, same time. Enjoy the evening. We don't have an outro video. I've got no idea why we used to. Maybe we've had to cut costs since Burns is back. Don't know, but we'll be back sometime soon.